Hi. I'm going to review two more books this week. One of them is fiction by one of my favorite authors, and one of them is a memoir, sort of nonfiction, that I haven't read in probably 20 years. But the first is Bret Easton Ellis's Lunar Park. Um, Bret Easton Ellis, you may know him from, he's the author of American Psycho, probably his most famous book made into a movie, pretty good adaptation. And he is also the author of Less Than Zero, The Informers, Imperial Bedrooms. Imperial Bedrooms? Anyway, no. Anyway, he's written a lot of books. And this is his only, I would say, real true horror novel. It's sort of psychological horror, and it's one of my favorite Bret Easton Ellis books. If you know his other works, then it goes a long way in enjoying this story, but you don't have to know all of his books to appreciate this one. But it's about him, but it's a fictionalized version of Bret Easton Ellis, where he is he becomes a family man. And if you know anything about Bret Easton Ellis, boy oh boy, like a Midwestern family man is just not how you would describe him. But he's everything sort of changes in his world. His house changes. His like physical changes happen to the world he's living in that are sort of I think a symptom of what's happening to him internally. And anyway, so Lunar Park is I suppose you could say that American Psycho is a horror story, but I don't really see it that way. There are horror elements to it. There are horror elements to many of Bret Easton Ellis's works, but this is, I think, a psychological horror story that's it's entertaining. It's just maybe one of his funnier books. It's not at all heavy. Like, Bret Easton Ellis isn't really a heavy writer. Maybe Glamorama, you might say, was a little bit heavy to read at times, not because it was particularly overcomplicated or muddy, but there was just so much obsessiveness going on, which obsessiveness is kind of to me, a staple of the Bret Easton Ellis characters. Shallow, empty, very self-obsessed, but also entertaining. I don't know, he's a very entertaining writer to me, and this might be his most entertaining book, Lunar Park. It's well worth the read, and if you know his other work, then you will definitely appreciate this one. I've underlined a line here. I have no idea why. Let's see what I underlined. It says, "There was something in him that suggested forgiveness. His secret life made him seem less brooding, less sullen. Something had been solved for him. The actor was gone." Yeah, oh my gosh, actually, looks like I've underlined a few things in this book. So, personally, I love this book. Worth reading. Lunar Park, Bret Easton Ellis. I don't give a rating, so thumbs up, I guess, is the rating. But maybe it's 10 stars. 4 birds. 2 dogs. There's 2 dogs in the yard. The grass is overgrown. All right, the other book I have not read in a lot of years. I've only read one book by this author. It's by Marja Hornbacher. It's Madness. It's a bipolar life. So it's really very, very well written. Marja Hornbacher has written other books, and I haven't read them. I should, because I enjoyed this book a great deal, and I follow her on Instagram, and I find her really entertaining and interesting. Maybe more interesting than entertaining. I'm not sure if she's intentionally entertaining. So some things are entertaining. Her wit is definitely entertaining, and there's a lot of it in this. Even though the wit in this book is a little self-deprecating. It's like the account of living a very, very hard, personally self-punishing life and trying to find a way to live with yourself is how I would look at this book. She has written other books, I believe, that talk about eating disorders and cutting and other self-harm kind of things that I should read them because the description of them sounds interesting, but this one is focused on bipolar. It's focused on how challenging it is to try to be normal when you're struggling with your own mind, and how challenging it is to try to do all the stuff that everybody else can do. You know, everybody else can drink, everybody else can hang out and party, everybody else can have casual relationships, but for someone who has a hard time with themselves, with bipolar, those are areas where you lose control, and then you damage yourself, you damage others, you struggle, and you feel a lot of self-loathing, maybe, or lash out at other people. Just it's hard, I think, to make sense when you're dealing with mental illness. It's hard to make sense of yourself. It's hard to make sense of the world, and it's hard to find your place. But she does a good job of describing what she had gone through and likely continues to go through. So I would advise anybody interested in these topics to check this book out. I don't give trigger warnings. I don't even believe there should be trigger warnings for adults. I mean, I guess for kids, like if something's inappropriate for children, yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that. Ratings on movies and TV shows, even books and stuff to a degree. But when it comes to adults, if you need trigger warnings to go out into the world and do the things that you want to do, maybe you don't need trigger warnings. Maybe you need to expose yourself little by little to things that you're uncomfortable with and develop a tolerance for them. I think that's how people, develop tolerance for all kinds of things. So if this is the kind of book that might trigger something in you, read it. Take your time. Absorb it. Think about the things that are in it. You read a little bit. Read as much as you're comfortable with, and then take a little while to reflect on it, instead of just avoiding things that you're afraid you're going to be triggered. Oh, God, where did that even come from? I don't know. Anyway, Marja Hornbacher, Madness, and Bret Easton Ellis's Lunar Park. Two really terrific books that I have read, and you should read too. Now let's see how tall my grass is in the backyard, because I was supposed to mow it last week and I didn't get around to it, and then I was going to do it today, but it rained this morning, and oh my God, the grass is so long. I'm gonna have to get a goat. My wife wants a goat. We have dogs, and they kind of act like goats. Look how long that grass is. It's ridiculous. Look at that pool. It's so hillbilly. Oh my gosh. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.